Ride the vibes, a refreshing, fun, and informative experience.
Join Steve and Winnie on VoiceTube Studios.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ride the Vibe Show.
欢迎来到脉搏秀
This is your host Steve.
And this is your host Winnie.
All right, this is our very first episode. We're really excited to be here. We have some pretty cool stuff to talk about today.
Well, why don't we start with introducing ourselves a little bit?
Yeah, sure. My name is Steve. I come from the USA. I've been working in VoiceTube for about a month now, and I think part of the reason people were excited to have me on board was to create this podcast.
Yeah, because Steve has been working on his own podcast.
Yeah, it's actually, we finished our first one. We decided to quit, and we're starting a new podcast now that we know more about what we're doing. So we started the podcast. It went on for about a year. We realized that we made some mistakes. There were some positive parts, but we just want to start over now that we know more about how to actually record a podcast and all the ins and outs.
Okay, but what happened to the first podcast? I mean, what's wrong about it?
We started off as being a purely video game podcast.
Video game podcast.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like the podcast industry of PewDiePie.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Although I think I did it with a friend. I wasn't solo, and we wanted to kind of like talk about video games as if they were kind of like an art form, something that should be appreciated, because we thought that films and literature and books were really like They were talked about professionally, but video games were they have a lot of hate. There's a lot of people that are just like, video games are garbage. They're kind of a waste of time.
Yeah,
why would you ever play games?
I bought my Switch last year, and the moment my dad saw it, he was like, why would you buy this garbage? I'm like, that's not garbage. That makes me happy.
Yeah. What are you, 5 years old?
Yeah, I mean, look at how much effort these developers put in the video games. You know, it's just beautiful. You know.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, they're made for all ages too. So they're no longer just a child's like play toy, I guess you could say.
It's now my time to talk a little bit about myself. I have been working in VoiceTube for, I'd say, over a year now. I started out as an intern, like content editor intern.
Oh.
Yeah, I started out as an intern. And starting the second month I was here, they put me to a pronunciation challenge. I recorded more than 100 episodes now. And they invited me to be, working here full time. I was like, yeah, why not? You're giving me an opportunity to do the things that I want. So now we have homemade videos. I wouldn't say homemade videos, but they call it homemade videos, 自制影片 in Taiwanese. So I've been making videos with VoiceTube, and now I'm doing podcasts for VoiceTube with you. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually had no idea that you started as an intern. I, for some reason, had thought you'd been here for like 2 or 3 years and just sort of did this job after you graduated.
It does feel like it's been 3 years. It's a lot of work here, but it's definitely fun but draining. As an editor and also as like a slash producer. I do a lot of slash. Yeah, also translator. Just to let everybody know, I'm actually like the only translator here in VoiceTube, and I just translate stuff and you go through the stuff.
Yeah, although my Chinese is not so great, it's okay. So I can't.
But we're like really good partners. I feel like really good teammates.
Yeah, we can figure out. We can usually work together to figure out what the proper translation should be. And I always have Google Translate as a backup if I really need it.
Yeah. The thing about Google Translate is that the last editor that was here, she always just types in the Chinese words and then she plays it out. So I can always hear Miss Google talking. I can always hear Miss Google talking.
Yeah, it's a puzzle when you use Google Translate. You need to start moving words around, start adding in words. It's just English and Chinese don't usually translate to each other directly very well.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Translating is like that. It's not just English and Chinese. I mean, with different languages, it's the same. It's very complicated. And so before I started working here as an intern, I actually did theater, children's theater, which is kind of weird. And like a freelance translator, teacher, I do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But I really do like my job here at VoiceTube.
Yeah, cool. I'm still getting used to everything. I'm still trying to figure out how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely like that I do many different things. I don't just sit on the computer and edit like sentences all day.
Yeah.
I do some writing. I write blogs. I do pronunciation challenges. We're starting the podcast. I edit subtitles. So
You're making me jealous. You're making me jealous. I think your job content is like definitely better, like more interesting.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think you have the more like your job is more challenging. I feel like because you have all the like translation work.
Yeah, and like tech stuff. I feel like I feel like I've
tech stuff.
I learned so much about apps and how they were created and developed.
But
it's
that's
pretty
cool in
cool.
itself.
It's a great opportunity. I mean, a great stuff to get when you're here, because not only you're editing stuff, you're also learning stuff with the engineering and whatever stuff that's too complicated. I don't know how to talk about it, but yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. All right, so today we are here to talk about different culture relationships.
We are.
Because we're from different cultures. Well,
kind of.
yeah, well, I was born in Taiwan. It's just I grew up in Canada, right? So my culture, I would say, is a little bit complicated.
Yeah, you're sort of a product of two different cultures and two different countries. So you're not quite, I don't know how you define yourself, but maybe you would say you're not quite Canadian or you're not quite Taiwanese. You're somewhere in between those cultures.
In college, I have this teacher. He used to live in New York, and he loves North American culture. So he just calls himself a banana, like yellow on the outside and white on the inside. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a banana, definitely a little bit of banana. I sort of identify myself as more of a Canadian than a Taiwanese, but. Yeah, I mean, I love this country though.
I'm curious, why would you say that though? Why would you feel more Canadian than Taiwanese?
Well, I wouldn't say Taiwan is not a better country than Canada, but I do feel like when I was traveling in Canada, I feel like I am more myself. Do you know what that means? I feel like I'm more relaxed there, and I don't have to constantly worry about a lot of things, which has something to which is related to what we're going to talk about today. The LGBT, and also I feel like it's a freer country in Canada.
Yeah, I mean I guess I love both countries. I mean, I'm from the USA, but I do love Canada.
Because you live very close to Canada.
Yeah,
right?
I'm from Maine, which is right on the Canadian border, or touches it. And I think the one thing I really miss from North America is just all the wide open space and the nature and just sort of that freedom to roam. Like there's just so much space where there's not really a lot of people. It's not Canada and the U.S. are both not very dense. They don't have a lot of people.
Yeah, because the land is very mass and... you do get tall buildings and stuff, but in Taiwan, there's like too many tall buildings.
In Taipei, anyway, for sure. Taipei, for sure.
Everywhere you go is just tall buildings and not a lot of sunlight. But I think it's probably just because of the weather in Taiwan.
Yeah, if you were living in like Taichung or somewhere in the south, you'd have plenty of sunlight.
Yeah. When I was in Canada, I think it's because I went there in August, so the weather was like so good, and it was a lot drier there. So I think it's just overall, nicer. Yeah, there. But yeah, I mean, I was born in Taiwan, so Taiwan is my country, But I just grew up in Canada, and most of the things that I read and, the music that I listen to, it's basically just like American music, or I wouldn't say American music, but like global music. Most of them is in English.
Okay, so more like Western music, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, Western culture, and I only watch TV series from the Western world. I don't really watch like Taiwanese drama or like K-drama. Is that how you call it? K-drama?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I don't really watch K-drama or like Japanese drama or J-drama. Do we call it J-drama?
We might have to ask our Japanese coworkers on that one.
We have a lot of Japanese coworkers here. Well, for me, like I said, I don't watch a lot of like Taiwanese dramas and stuff, but recently I've been noticing Taiwan is actually producing pretty good Taiwanese dramas lately. Like 我们与恶的距离 and 一把青. I've been noticing that they've been putting more effort into the scripts and the stories and the concepts they're trying to convey. So I've actually been watching a little bit more of Taiwanese drama lately. Have you watched any Taiwanese drama or know any Taiwanese drama?
No, actually, I don't really watch much TV. I'm more of a movie person, and I got obsessed with Korean movies. I think Korean movies are really awesome.
Oh, because you stayed in Korea for a while, right?
I lived in Korea for 2 years, and I think Korea and Japan both have such an awesome movie industry, and I just love Korean movies. They vary from everything. They've got like horror movies, they've got action, they've got comedy,
cop movies. Yeah, cop movies.
They have some of that. I guess you'd say like crime movies about maybe like bad guys who are stealing drugs or something. So
sounds like the movies in Hong Kong. You know how like they always make these cop movies with Jackie Chan. You know,
like the kung fu.
Yeah,
the kung fu.
yeah, like the cop, and they sort of put martial arts, with the kung fu together, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about different culture relationships. So you grew up in Canada. No, I grew up in Canada. You grew up in the States, and you are now in a relationship with Taiwanese?
A Taiwanese girl, yes.
Yeah.
We've been dating for about 8 months now.
8 months?
8 months.
Okay, is that the reason why you came to Taiwan?
No, the reason I came to Taiwan is I was here on a vacation when I lived in Korea, and I was just really floored by the awesome nature here. There's so many great mountains, and I love to hike, and the friendliness of the people. So when I came here, I really had I wasn't against dating by any means, but it wasn't my primary reason to come here. But it just sort of happens that I've got into this relationship. But I've been in Taiwan for 3 years, so... Yeah,
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. So it wasn't my main reason to come to Taiwan.
And you said you lived in Changhua, right?
Changhua, yeah.
And now you live in Taipei. So I think we can talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
What's the difference?
It's a huge difference. Changhua is a really small city. I think it's like 250,000 people. It's really close to Taichung in the center of Taiwan. It's next to like Nantou and Taichung and like Yunlin. And it's really small. I mean, there's not a whole lot to do there. The buildings are definitely older. So when I lived there, really all we did is we'd go bowling and go to the bar. And those are really the two things.
Bowling and going to the bar. You're making me jealous. That's a pretty good life.
It's not bad, but you got to get used to doing the same thing every week. And there's not a whole lot of people to meet in terms of foreigners, and at that time my Chinese was much worse than now, so it was actually very hard to read menus and get used to the culture there.
So you had a hard time basically just communicating with the locals?
Not as far as like ordering food. I was pretty good about studying some Chinese, but I mean my Chinese was very basic, so it was hard to make friends, I would say.
Oh, because not a lot of foreigners there.
No, but it wasn't really great. I think the advantage of Changhua was it's right in the middle of Taiwan, so it's a great place to travel around the country.
Oh, that is true. It's faster for you to get to the north and a lot faster for you to get to the south.
Yeah, I went to Tainan a lot. I've been to Kending, Pingdong.
So are you like a sea person or like a mountain person?
Both, because I mean I grew up my hometown for the first 25 years of my life was on the ocean.
Oh.
It was always like a 10-minute walk, 20-minute walk. And we have
like
so many beaches. Yeah.
Wow.
Rocky beaches.
Rocky beaches. That's kind of like the beaches in Taiwan.
Yeah, but I think our water is much colder.
Oh, yeah. I recently just came back from Boracay in the Philippines. I love the beaches. I love the sea. I consider myself like a sea person, like a sea lady. I love mermaid, but not that cute. Probably not that cute. Maybe like a manatee. Hainioma, like a manatee,
Hainio.
Yeah, something like that. Oh no, wait. But you haven't answered the question. Are you like a sea person or like a mountain person?
I'd like to think I'm a bit of both, just because I lived near the ocean for so long and I still love the ocean, but I also do a lot of hiking. So I actually probably spend more time in the mountains these days, but I'm a sea and mountain person.
Okay, a sea and mountain person. So not Aquaman.
I'm not Aquaman. I'm not Mountain Man. I'm a hybrid.
All right. Well, I'm definitely a sea lady. I love the sea. Okay, so why don't we, go to the segment where I ask you a lot of quick questions?
Sure. So I guess this sort of is like a lightning round. We're going to ask some questions, and you try to answer the questions without taking too much time to answer them. They're very spontaneous. I don't know her questions. She doesn't know my questions.
And we don't know any of the answers.
Hopefully, I know the answers to my questions. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, all right. I'll go first.
All right.
Okay, so how many countries have you stayed in, and which one inspires you the most?
Stayed in as in traveled or lived?
Lived. All
Lived.
right, over 3 months. If you stayed in that country over 3 months, then you stayed there.
I've lived in 3 countries for more than 3 months, being the USA, Korea, and Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Which one has inspired me the most? That's a really hard question.
Mm-hmm.
All 3, but I guess I have to say my home country, the USA, just because I think there's still so much I have to do there, and I sort of think about it a lot, and it's sort of my home.
So the States is like huge.
Yeah, and there's still so many national parks and places I haven't been, so I got to give it to the USA, my home
Even
country.
on this island, it's like it's not that big of a country. There's still so many places that I have to visit,
Yeah, no, it's true. Taiwan's got a lot of amazing stuff to see. All 3 countries are very inspiring, but I got to go USA.
Yeah, hometown. You got to root for your hometown. All right, your turn.
All right. What was your best childhood memory?
Best childhood memory. Oh, you're going to love this one. So in Canada, we do a lot of blueberry picking, right? Because I had my childhood in Canada. And so me and my mom and my sister, we went to this blueberry farm. And the best part is not about the blueberry picking. The best part is actually, on the ground, on the messy ground, we found a stick that is perfect for a Harry Potter wand. That is like the best memory. So in the end, it's not about the blueberries, even though the blueberries were really, really good. I love blueberries, but the wand is the best memory.
Wow, cool. So yeah, I forget you're a little bit younger than me. Harry Potter was that was more when I was in middle school and high school. So for you, I guess it was probably more like elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I wouldn't say your generation, but I think the older generation. I think you guys like the Lord of the Rings better.
As a kid, I don't know if I want to say this, but I was just obsessed with Pokemon.
Oh my God, you're obsessed with Pokemon?
Because at that time,
I'm obsessed with Pokemon as well.
Pokemon Red and Blue just came out when I was in like grade 2 and grade 3. So like 3 years of my life were Pokemon.
I loved Pokemon. My favorite is, definitely Pikachu and Eevee. I actually have a Eevee doll stuffed animal in my drawer.
Nice. I gotta go Pikachu over Eevee, but my favorite Pokemon, that's hard. Probably Gengar. You know Gengar?
Oh, I loved Gengar when I was a kid. I actually have like a bucket of figures of Pokemon. My mom spent quite a lot of money on that. It's my favorite, but she gave it all away. I'm like, Mom, you know how much money we can get from that bucket of Pokemons?
Yeah, when I was a kid, we all wanted that Charizard card, the holographic
the
Charizard. That was the most expensive.
I had the cards when I was younger. Pokemon was just childhood.
All right, wait, your turn.
All right, my turn. So, favorite movie?
Oh, that's such a hard question. I think I just got one of the interns recently asked me this as well in the meeting. Favorite movie might be Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
It's a really adult movie made by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah, with Samuel L. Jackson?
Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, Bruce Willis. Who's the girl's name? I know I can see her face.
Yeah, I can see her face.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. I actually, my friend told me that it was a great movie, and I was like, I've always wanted to watch it. It was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the beginning part of it, and then it was removed from Netflix. So I never got to watch it.
Because they have some of his other movies like Django Unchained and Reservoir Dogs on there. But
are you on Netflix?
Yeah, my girlfriend has an account. We just share it.
That's what everybody does. Like everybody just shares their Netflix account. Like I share my account with 3 other people, and I basically charge them. So we're like sharing one account, so I only have to pay less than $100 each month. So that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a better deal. All right, well, question 2 for you is kind of similar. So who is your favorite movie character and why?
My favorite movie character. Okay, does anime count?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so I would say my favorite movie character is probably Naruto. Do you know Naruto?
I know a little bit. I know it's like it's animation from Japan about a ninja boy, right?
Mhm.
And it's sort of, I didn't watch Naruto, but I've seen some other animes like it.
Yeah, Naruto is like, literally the best. I would say I love it more than Pokemon, just because Naruto is the nicest kid you're ever gonna meet. He's just so loving, so caring, and he's always about sacrificing himself. Not crazy kind, but like he just loves people. He was, I wouldn't say he was abandoned, but like the entire village, the ninja village where he lives in, just abandons him, and people don't talk to him because they think he's a monster. But it's not true, He's actually a hero because he saved the entire village. Something like that. I just love how he's just so caring, and he never really cares about how people treated him, That's why I love that character so much.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and now it makes me feel like I should have seen Naruto before.
You have to. It's the best.
See, I thought Naruto was all just kind of fight scenes.
Oh,
and it's
there's a lot of fight scenes, but, it's more about moral education.
Okay.
And it sort of, like, shapes your personality and characters. I feel like if you watch it from a very young age. Sadly, I didn't watch it until, like, last year, but it was so good. It was so good.
Okay, so for animation, yeah, I think I used to watch Full Metal Alchemist. Do you know that one? The two brothers? No. Oh, that's a cool one.
Wait, is it animation?
Yeah.
Is it in English?
Japanese and English, yeah. There definitely should be an English version.
So is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Question 3.
So you asked me about the movie characters. All right, I'm going to ask you something super random. Shoe size.
Which way do you want it? You want centimeters, inches?
U.S.
All right, U.S. size. My feet are 11 and a half.
Ooh, 11 and a half.
Yeah.
They're actually quite big.
Yeah, although, a lot of my friends actually have bigger shoe sizes. I have friends that have size 13, size 14, absolutely
Are they
enormous
taller
feet.
than you?
No, they're about the same size.
How tall are you?
190 centimeters, 6'3" inches.
Wow. I'm like a midget standing next to you. Midget, 小矮人哦，这侏儒那一种. Because I'm like 150. I'm not even above 150 centimeters.
And I'm 190, so 40 centimeters is pretty big difference.
真的是在你旁边是个小矮人, a little midget. And we actually sit next to each other in the office.
Well, when we're sitting, it doesn't seem like such a big difference. I think it's when we're standing up that it becomes more apparent.
During lunchtime, when you stood up, I'm like always I can feel the pressure.
Yeah, I always worry about that because when you're tall, you think some people are naturally intimidated by tall people. Like I can just walk down the street or I can stand next to someone, and sometimes I feel like there's people that are just intimidated by being next to someone that's that tall.
But what do you like about being tall?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about it is that I can see over people in crowds.
And fresh air.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
But you also bump your head on everything and anything.
Yeah, that's true. Especially in Asian countries, I think.
I haven't noticed it so much. I think it was more apparent in Thailand. When I visited Thailand, there were definitely some houses and buildings that were literally made for someone that's like 20 or 30
size.
centimeters less than me. And so I had to crouch around, like an awkward giant.
That sounds kind of funny, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it looked funny.
Yeah. All right, so your turn.
All right, question 3. What would be an ideal Friday night for you?
An ideal Friday night. All right, so why don't we talk about my ideal Friday night in my 20s? Well, I am in my 20s, but like in my early 20s, because I'm basically 25 now. So I can actually split that into 2 parts now. So in my early 20s, when I was still in college, I graduated about 2-3 years ago. Before I graduate, the last 2-3 months of my college career, I've basically been partying every week, every Friday night. Been drinking and also doing shisha, hookah, 水烟. I still like it. But, for now, I feel like my ideal Friday night is just staying at home.
Yeah, I find you go through phases, right? There are some times where I just need to get the partying out of me, but then you do it for, 3 or 4 weeks in a row and you realize it's sort of the same thing and it just destroys your next day. So then you kind of want to take a break.
Yeah, because right now I feel like, when you go party, the next day is basically just ruined.
Yeah,
You're just going to be staying in bed, all morning. And maybe after that you feel a little bit better, but you're still going to be dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
So an entire day just wasted. And right now I have way more responsibility than before.
Right.
So I can't really mess myself up. So, yeah, now I just kind of stay home. If not, I just go out and watch movies. And maybe I do still get a little drink, but just drinking. Yeah, with friends, and we talk about life. Wow, that's getting dark. All right. The story is starting to get darker and darker, and I don't want the dark side of Winnie starts lurking out.
Where did my life go?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I totally understand. Yeah.
I think not even after 25, like after 23, once you graduated, things started to go down. I wouldn't say go down, but then you have to worry about, finance, your financial status, and then you got to worry about your career because you can't be just, working and then not have a goal, because it's very important that you have a goal, right? Even if you're working for a company, you do have to have personal goals in the company to make sure that everything is going, I wouldn't say going well, but going in a direction,
Yeah. I mean, I think people call that like the 5-year plan or whatever, where you have to plan ahead for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree that you need to do 5 years, but it's a good idea to have a general idea of what you want to do with your life. And that can be very hard after you're finished graduating. Maybe it's hard to find a job. Maybe you have student debt to pay off.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
you
thank
don't.
God I don't have a student debt. So thanks to my dad.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, you mean you had a student debt problem?
I still have some. I wouldn't say it's a problem now. It's
Wow.
manageable, but I still have, I think, $19,000 left to pay off.
Ooh, that's a lot. 19,000.
Started at 50, so that's
Wow. It took you like so many years though.
to pay it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to consider I don't know why it took so long. I mean, I feel like I paid $30,000 in about 5 years. That's a lot of money to pay towards it.
Yeah.
And I just started prioritizing saving a little bit money instead. I used to have almost no money in my account. I just put it all towards student loans, but I just didn't feel comfortable or safe. So I thought I should start boosting my savings account at the same time I pay it off, which meant paying it off a little bit more slowly.
Just to let everyone know, savings is actually very important. If you don't have any savings and, anything happens to you, you're pretty much just doomed if you don't have any savings.
You're screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed. Want to use the other word, but not supposed to use the other word. Yeah.
Beep.
Is it my turn? Okay. This one is going to be super simple. Cookies or cake?
Unless it's cheesecake, I go cookies. I don't like the frosting on cake very much. Cookies are so much better. Give me a good chocolate chip cookie, an Oreo, or oatmeal raisin cookie over cake any day. But the real answer is ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay, cookies or cake or ice cream. Everybody's going to go for ice cream, Ice cream is the best. I love ice creams. I love vanilla ice cream. How about you?
I'm crazy. I like the Ben & Jerry's stuff back at home. I like the mixture of flavors. But for a simple flavor, mint chocolate chip every time.
Mint chocolate chip. All
How do
right.
you say that in Chinese? Is that a...
巧克力薄荷. 巧克力薄荷, like mint chocolate chip. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your favorite cookie in Taiwan?
Oh, in Taiwan?
It's really hard to get like those good soft cookies in Taiwan unless you go to Subway.
Yeah, no, totally. Favorite cookies in Taiwan? I really like I guess they're more of a cake actually. I really like the pineapple cakes.
Oh, so now you're a cake person.
Yeah, maybe in Taiwan I'm a cake person, and in the US I'm more of a cookie person, because Taiwan has those delicious pineapple cakes.
Oh, you love pineapple cakes?
Those are good. Those are really good.
For the pineapple cakes, I always feel like Taiwanese don't really eat pineapple cakes. They just buy it and they just give it to people. And if you received some pineapple cake, you would eat them. But I don't think anyone would just go and buy pineapple cakes.
Yeah, I feel like they're always just in the tourist shops.
Yeah, tourist shops. Except for Evie, our colleague.
She likes them?
She loves
They're
pineapple
delicious.
cake.
They're really delicious.
I think I remember her saying she likes a pineapple cake from Ding Tai Fung.
Oh, I've never had that one specifically.
Yeah. Pineapple cake. This time when I went to Canada, Newfoundland, I actually brought a box of pineapple cake for the locals. They loved it. Yeah, I think a lot of foreigners, they love pineapple cake.
Yeah, because I think like for us, it's not something that I don't know, we don't have pineapple on a lot of special dishes like that. We don't have like pineapple cookies and pineapple cakes. We do have pineapple, but I think that like Asia just does stuff with pineapple that's more special than what we do with it in the West.
I think they mix it with winter melon.
In the cakes?
In the center, in the filling. That's the reason why it's chewy. 应该是有加冬瓜啦. I don't know. I'm not like a pastry chef. It's pastry. We call it pastry.
Yeah,
right?
pastry.
Pastry 是有点像那种糕饼啦，就是其实pineapple cake 就是所谓的凤梨酥嘛。你看我们英文是 in English we call it cake. And when we talk about cake, we're thinking about, sponge cake. But in Chinese, it is 凤梨酥. Su is something more of a pastry.
Yeah, well, I think like in English, pastry is more broad. You can talk about cakes and cookies and brownies and cinnamon rolls. All of those would be pastries, basically baked goods.
Yeah, baked goods. Goods? Okay, so do you want to explain this part? Like, why do we call it goods? Baked goods. Like, it's bread. It's cake.
Yeah, I think goods just refers to anything that you can sell, right? Like you could say like, like electronic goods or goods are just, I might be a little bit wrong here, actually, with our question. But I'm pretty sure goods are just something that you can make and that can be saleable, something that you can sell.
I think, I remember when I was younger, when I was in Canada, we had a party. When I was in elementary school, we had a party at school. And our teacher was like assigning different students, with what they have to bring. And I was assigned to bring goodies. I'm like, goodies?
Oh, goodies, yeah.
What's goodies? I think in the end, I still didn't get what that meant, so I think I just brought some random cupcakes. So does goodies actually mean cupcakes?
Goodies can mean anything that's sweet and something that's easy to eat, like a snack, like a sweet snack. So goodies could be candy, goodies could be cupcakes, goodies could be cookies. All of those can be defined as goodies. But yeah, goodies are essentially any small food that's kind of a snack that would also be delicious.
So I nailed it.
You nailed it, yeah.
Yeah, I brought cupcakes.
Just to clarify, I would say an apple would not be a goodie because it's more natural. Goodies are definitely sort of something
processed.
Processed, delicious food that's bad for you but tastes really good.
Okay, 所以 goodies 呢，其实就是一些加工过的甜点食品，像是一些小杯子蛋糕啦。Kind of like the cupcakes that you can get in 7-Elevens. 就是那种小小的海绵杯子蛋糕那样。I love those.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. I've seen a lot of bread in there. Does 7-Eleven have cupcakes?
Yeah, they have cupcakes, like sponge cupcakes, and vanilla flavored, and they don't have any frosting on it, but it's so good.
You're gonna have to show me these because I don't know what they are.
Yeah, we can. I can actually buy some later today because it's really, really good. Yeah. All right. There's no more questions now. Actually,
there's no more. Yeah.
We were supposed to talk about the different culture relationships, but we were talking too much, and time is running out. So I guess we'll continue this topic in the next episode, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of consider this an introduction episode, a chance to get to know who we are, and we hope you guys enjoy the podcast. And by listening to the podcast, we hope it helps you improve your English. So by listening, you're gonna learn some new English words. Hopefully it's a fun way to learn English. You enjoy the conversation. There's kind of interesting. And maybe there's some new topics we can talk about that we can't talk about on stuff like the pronunciation challenge or the blogs. So do you have anything to add to that about why the podcast is beneficial to the listeners?
Okay, well, the podcast is basically, it's different from, of course, it's different from the pronunciation challenge because it's freer. It's freer, and you get to actually listen to, what we have to say about a lot of different issues and different topics. So, you'll get to know that when we talk about the different cultural relationships in the next episode. And it's always fun to listen to other people's stories and learn from their experiences. Yeah. Maybe the mistakes that we've already made, and we can tell you about it. And so you won't make the same mistakes as we did, right? And yeah, that's basically what our podcast is going to be all about, right?
Yep. So the podcast is much more freeform. As you can see, we have a very vague script in front of us. We have some ideas, but we're not running off a script. We're not following any sort of like guide right now. We just know what we're going to talk about. And then there's a lot of room for us to talk about different things. And if you guys have any ideas for podcasts or topics you'd like us to talk about, you guys should definitely get in contact with us? How can they
Leave some
contact
comments.
us? Leave some comments.
And you can definitely go to the VoiceTube website, and you can find me on Pronunciation Challenge, and you can actually click to my profile and send me messages. And also with Steve, because Steve actually got his own Pronunciation Challenge shows, right?
Yep. So the first one will be coming out on the 19th, and then there'll be 1 or 2 per week after that. I think it's going to start at 1, and then it's going to move to 2 episodes per week. So you guys should be hearing those anytime now. And I guess, just like Winnie said, you can go to my page and contact me.
Yeah, you can send us, we call it messages, but it's actually just emails on the website. 你可以寄信给我们，或是直接在那边留言啦，跟我们说你想听些什么。对啊。
Yeah, I feel like I should know this stuff. Like I said, I'm still a little bit new to the company. I've been here for less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month.
So I'm still trying to learn how everything works and how to maneuver around the website and everything.
Yeah. 反正呢，就是呢，在这个 podcast 上面呢，我们会讲英文，主要的语言是英文啦。那可能讲到一些可能台湾或是跟美国都有的 culture 的时候，那我就会讲中文，然后我们去把它做一个比较，或者是需要解释的时候，我也会用一些中文。所以在这边是可以听到双语的哦。So it's a dual language podcast.
It's a dual language podcast, and we hope if you guys are listening from other countries outside of Taiwan, give us some feedback as well. It'd be cool to hear from the people in the Japan market and the global market. So if you guys have ideas, we haven't forgotten about you either. So chime in, guys. We hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to Ride the Vibes. We're happy you enjoyed the show. We want to take our conversations around the world to reach more listeners. It would be totally awesome if you could like, share, and subscribe.
Please turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a single episode. And definitely get in contact with us if you have anything you want us to talk about in the future. See you next time, and once again, thanks for listening.